Live from WOWT, this is our First Alert 6 Weather Day.
All right, thank you for joining us on our First Alert 6 streaming. It is good to have you with us. I'm Erin Hartley. And Rusty Lord. Nobody else to introduce today.
No one else to talk.
It's just us. All right, it is a First Alert weather day as we start this Thursday. Not so much for the storms that, of course, already passed. We did alert you to that. But for what's to come later on tonight.
Yeah, we're going to have to pay close attention because we're going to build energy all day. You're going to step outside. It's going to be warm and muggy, and that's just thunderstorm fuel. And the next round after 7 o'clock probably is going to pack a little punch for some of us as well. So let's talk about how it's going to play out. First Alert 6 weather day continues. We had the morning round. Thankfully, it moved through before the morning commute. It was more of a 2, 3 o'clock in the morning sort of thing. So morning showers still linger behind that, but some storms after 7 o'clock this evening are the ones to watch because those will have a lot of energy to work with. Large hail, strong wind going to be the main threat with those. The tornado risk, while low, that's the key. It's not zero. So you got to pay attention, especially when the storms are starting off later on tonight. There's what we have left on the radar. The line from last night moved to the east, had a couple of wind gusts. Mostly it was just heavy rain and some small hail and a lot of lightning with that round. Some stronger storms off to the west. You can see the north edge just keeps developing, and eventually that shuts off this morning, but it'll keep sending some shower potential our way over the course of the morning hours. So we'll watch this evolve, and it could bring a little rain even as late as the lunch hour to parts of the area. So right now it's over the York area, David City, Seward, contending with that as of right now. This is a severe weather risk area for the rest of the day, and it mostly pertains to after 7 o'clock. Storms will fire back here basically behind this little text box and then start to move east and southeast. Wind and hail primarily, tornado threat possible, 2 out of 5 on the scale. We'll see if anything gets added to this. Now we kind of know how the atmosphere looks after last night's round of storms. You can see how the chances really go up after 7, 8 o'clock, and they spike towards midnight. I don't think they're going to last quite as deep as into the overnight hours as this last round, but hopefully at least they'll be below severe limits if they do by then. So there's the showers that keep trying to evolve and head our way towards lunch. Notice some still on the Nebraska side by lunch. I think those should fizzle pretty quickly, and then by 3 o'clock, look at that. We're near 90. It's going to be warm. It's going to be humid. You're going to notice that all afternoon, and that'll just be the fuel for, well, there you go. By 5 o'clock, storms firing in central Nebraska. Those try to move east. Still pretty quiet by 7. Could be a little development out ahead of it, but I'm mostly watching those storms you see to the west there. By 9 o'clock, still on the Nebraska side, they'll just keep marching east by 10, 11, 12 o'clock. And any one of these could have some wind and some large hail with it. By this point, the tornado threat probably pretty much done, but it is something to watch over the course of the morning or of the night hours. Heading into the early morning on Friday, not too much left, just some showers lingering to start off the day on Friday. Thunderstorm energy is big with this because you can see there's not too much left. We're on the low end of the scale here, but over the course of the day, look at how we line up some oranges and reds here by 5 o'clock, and then storms start to work east. And this is where the storms will have been, this little hole right here, and then it just keeps working east and feeding off of this. So by middle of the night, there's not too much energy left for thunderstorms, but it's something we'll have to keep tracking overnight tonight. 91 turns into 85 on Friday. Some more storms there. Saturday with a high of 82. So again, today looking like the hottest and the humidest.
Humist. I like it.
Okay.
You just made a new word.
We'll go with it.
Good job.
Yeah, the nastiest weather out there today.
Well, again, that promising sign is that Saturday forecast. That is going to be, and even Sunday is not too bad too.
Yeah, the humidity is going to drop this weekend, so it won't be quite as humid. But later on this weekend, 82 on Saturday with the drop in the dew points, and then by Sunday, that could pick up a little bit, but still the storm potential on Friday before we get there. And mostly that will be dictated by what's moves through tonight. So this is the severe weather risk area as of now for Friday, but pay attention to any updates to this because tomorrow night or tonight's storms will impact how tomorrow's storms move through. Best odds for strong storms probably southeast of the metro, and additional rainfall over the next 48 hours could show some 1 to 3 inch totals in the area from these next couple rounds of storms. So again, plenty of rain yet to go. But then behind it, the muggy meter takes a dip for Saturday. Starts to go back up Sunday. Pretty muggy to start next week. as well. But the weekend, it is lining up very, very nice. 82 Saturday, 86 on Sunday, 92 on Monday. But then end of next week, another dip that may be even cooler. Morning lows in the 50s. And Thursday continually looks like the day that may not even get to 80 degrees the way things are looking. So it's going to be a very nice stretch. It looks like to end, well.
Oh, hi.
See, this is, when there's two of us, I never know where to go.
I don't think any of
There
us
we go.
know.
All right.
So that high of the 77, I mean, that's crazy for mid-July.
Yeah, that's going to stick out. You're going to maybe opening the windows in July and not using the air conditioner. So
that would be ideal. All right, let's switch gears and talk about traffic this morning. Yeah. This is the part where you have to get up and walk around again.
There we go. So yeah, let's just go ahead and switch the. There we go. We'll start talking about traffic and how things move and through the area today. A new project that I'm not quite sure what they're working on here, but lane restrictions westbound on on Dodge, I should say, between Saddle Creek and 46. So again, there were some closures eastbound for a while due to an apartment construction. I'm not sure what this is for, but this is today and tomorrow where we have some of these restrictions. So again, westbound, not eastbound traffic heading into work this morning just yet. Overall, the biggest issue continues to be westbound I-80 with traffic slow because of the construction on the interstate there. Also, don't forget 42nd between Emily and Dewey through next summer. This is 11 months where this is shut down, and it's right in the heart of the UNMC campus. So between Dewey and Emily is where 42nd Street is shut down. Hard to drive through there. And not too bad around 144th and I-80, but you go up a little bit from 680 on the westbound side, and there's the slowdowns that we've been getting over a consistent basis the last several months. That's all due to the lane widening and additional lanes being added on the interstate there. And those are the hot spots around the metro. No new crashes, at least in the last 5-10 minutes or so. We'll see how things are looking as we get a little closer to the next time you see me.
Yeah, makes your job a little easier too.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay, Rusty, thanks.
You bet.
An El Salvador man wanted for 5 murders has been arrested in the Omaha area. The video on your screen showing his arrest. His identity is being withheld due to this ongoing investigation. ICE says, though, another man, Rene Ochoa, was also taken into custody. A Homeland Security official says the two had embedded themselves into the metro.
So typically when MS-13 involves themselves in a community, they start committing crimes tied to drug trafficking, human trafficking, intellectual property rights, and just general racketeering and violent crime. So it is a big negative on the community.
Well, the arrests were made without incident. The official asked the public not to interfere with ICE operations. Now, here's some background on MS-13 from the DOJ. The gang was formed by Salvadorian migrants who came to the USA to escape civil war in their homeland. The DOJ says some of its members were trained in guerrilla warfare and use military weapons. The gang is notorious for transnational crimes, including stealing guns and cars. First responders in Council Bluffs have launched a new tool to protect some of the city's most vulnerable residents. This is called Project Lifesaver. OPD and Sarpy County have been using it for years now. People can wear a small transmitter on their wrist or their ankle, which can be tracked by first responders. One mom says it could save the life of her 4-year-old son, who is autistic.
He had already been running out of the house, running away from us, running into the road, trying to jump into water, all of that. It means a lot. Like, even just seeing like other parents come in here and bring their kids and get a bracelet, like the weight that it lifts off of your chest helps me sleep at night, that I know if something happened, this is here.
In order to qualify, you must have a diagnosis that shows you're at risk for wandering. Over here at the safety desk with Maria Cade now. Maria, you have some more information on the decline of childhood vaccine coverage.
Yeah, we've been talking about this quite a bit, especially when it comes to measles cases. The CDC says those cases in the U.S., they've reached their highest number since the disease was declared eliminated 25 years ago. And there have been nearly 1,300 cases alone this year so far. CDC officials say more than 90% of measles cases this year were in people who were unvaccinated or whose vaccination status wasn't known. There's also a big change in other childhood vax rates as well. The CDC says coverage against mumps, rubella, chickenpox, polio, pertussis, those are all declining in more than 30 states.
Okay. Shifting gears now to car safety tips and what parents should know before they put their kids in the car. Literally, it could be this morning.
Yeah, you could never be too safe with this. Statistics show that kids slamming into the windshield is entirely preventable if you do use a car seat. And when choosing a car seat, it's more about your kid's height and their weight than their age. So booster seats, those are a really critical next step when you move up for those kids who are too big for rear or front-facing car seats. But according to national data, more than half of all car seats, they're not installed or used correctly, and most parents don't even realize they're making that mistake.
Babies and toddlers are very top heavy. Their head grows much faster than the rest of their body. So if I turn my child around too soon where they're in the forward facing mode, if there is a crash, that whiplash can cause severe injuries to the neck and the spine.
Data shows just because your child is school ready, that doesn't mean that they're necessarily ready to ride with just that seatbelt. The DHS says the focus really needs to be on keeping those older kids in those car seats and booster seats longer and then installing them correctly.
They're probably not going to want to do it, but it's important.
They have to, absolutely.
Okay, Maria, thank you. We're back after this. All right, welcome back. Time now 7:15 as we start the Thursday morning. A bird's eye view of the Woodman Life Tower. Getting a little bit more blue skies, a little bit more sunshine after some very loud storms that we got overnight. I think people want to know how much rain we got.
Well, everybody looks like less than an inch out of this one. It seemed like a lot, but they were moving through pretty quickly, so it didn't have a chance much more than an hour or so to drop the rain. So let's take a look at some of those rain totals and show you where the heaviest ended up falling, I think. Quarter to about a half an inch across the area. There we go. You can see about a quarter of an inch at Epley, but well more than that in Millard. So I posted this on Facebook and Twitter, and you can get an idea of where this were. And if you have a rain gauge and want to report that along with your location, we'd love to hear from you as well. This is a look at the additional rainfall now that is possible tonight and on Friday. And you can see the 1 to 3 inch totals here are very much in play across a good chunk of the area where, again, soggy conditions. Hopefully we can avoid any flash flooding. But again, we're in this pattern where round after round of storms looks like it's going to be evident. Even getting some new storms developing to the west of Columbus here. So Seward, Stromsburg, places in between with some rain. This is the morning rain that could drift as far east as the Missouri River at any time this morning. First alert radar shows the clouds off towards the east and the showers. That's last night's rain. Here's the next batch trying to move in. That really won't do too much to the atmosphere the way it looks now. And here's the latest severe weather risk area. A 2 out of 5 on the scale for some severe weather potential. That's after 7 o'clock tonight. Wind and hail the main threat. Tornado threat is there. but likely at the beginning of storms. And this is that little cluster that's out there this morning. It's not going to do too much aside from send a little light rain to the metro, at least try to anyway. Odds are pretty low, but we'll see what can happen here. Low 90s by 3, 4 o'clock. It's going to be a hot and humid one. There's the storms. This is pausing it at 7. That's the line that's going to try to march in here. Anywhere along it, some wind and some hail. And you can see by 9 o'clock, most of that threat still either west of the area or north of the Platte River. And then it just kind of marches east and southeast deeper into the evening. So it may not be fast movers with this round, as the moisture will just keep funneling up into these and firing off more as we go deeper into the evening and overnight hours. And then by early on Friday, some scattered showers left over. And the severe threats out of this round look like mostly wind and hail. But again, we're going to keep the tornado threat on the low side. Just can't remove it entirely. I still think 1 or 2 is possible farther to the west. Now, as far as Friday goes, let's talk about that because there's still some storm potential there. But ultimately, how this nighttime round tonight moves through will tell us a lot about the way Friday's going to set up. These will be lingering showers. Then we see if we can recharge. Could get a couple more storms by mid-afternoon. But the best odds are to the east in Iowa and moving out pretty quickly. This up here to the northwest likely doesn't amount to much as it drops in and kind of fizzles. So we're kind of sandwiched in between on Friday. Saturday right now looks great. But here's the Friday severe weather outlook. That may look different by the time tonight's round goes through. So we'll wait and see how things kind of set up from there. There's your Friday forecast, 85 for the high, starting off in the 70s, so not quite as hot. Now, quick check of the 10-day. We go very, very nice this weekend. 82 Saturday, 86 on Sunday. Looks phenomenal there with lower humidity. The key is that overnight low. Look at how it dips down to 61 by Sunday morning. That's a sign that we kind of take some of the moisture out of the atmosphere, and it can cool off a little bit more right in time for the weekend.
And that's not all. We're getting some more dips in the temperature as we get into next week, too.
Yeah, if you like that, end of next week looks even better. If you're wanting a little break from summer, let me tell you, this little bout right here where we dip down into the 50s for some morning lows. Afternoon highs Wednesday, Thursday, Friday could be near 80 degrees. Now, Wednesdays may end up being a little bit more because of some showers and storms, but cooler air on Thursday with highs in the 70s. Again, yeah, right now it looks like we might struggle to get to 80 degrees at least one of those days. And right now I'd put my money on Thursday at this point.
That's a nice break, too.
I know. I've had people asking me on social media, when are we going to get a break from the humidity? Most of the time I keep saying September.
Yeah.
But it might happen into next week.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
All right, Rusty, thanks. An Omaha organization is stepping up to help those affected by the Texas floods. The Nebraska Humane Society is clearing some space to bring animals from Texas to Omaha. The Humane Society is working with Best Friends Animal Society and Austin Pets Alive. They're hoping to fly in 40 dogs and 20 cats. To make this happen, they need to find homes, though, for the animals that are currently there.
We have over 100 dogs available for adoption. We have 60 cats available for adoption. A lot of awesome animals that would really do well in awesome homes. So if that's you, stop on by.
Well, so far, the Humane Society has found homes for 21 animals. Meantime, an update on Nebraska's Task Force 1 recovery efforts in Texas. About 50 members are continuing to help those affected. Crews using rescue boats, helicopters, dogs, other equipment to search for victims and provide aid in 7 counties. They're serving alongside teams also from Florida, Louisiana, and Virginia. Still ahead, grab your keys. It's time to head to the movie theater. The latest deal that'll have you coming back for much more when we return. Well, AMC Theaters is making it cheaper to go to the movies this summer.
Yeah, the chain already offers their Discount Tuesdays. I know I've used that before for the AMC Stubs Rewards members, but now the price of an adult movie ticket is half price on Wednesdays as well. The 50% discount is also offered on a small popcorn and drink combo.
So what, it's still $20?
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to
A little bit less.
Last movie I went to was Moana 2. Took my daughter.
Anything you want to see coming up?
I can't think of anything right now.
Not the
we made it
Smurfs?
about 45. Oh, there we go. We could go to this. I had to explain to my daughter what a Smurf was. That was interesting. She didn't understand.
How did you describe a small blue thing?
Little blue things and did not compute. But what about you? Anything you guys want to see?
Jurassic World.
Yeah, I forgot that.
That just came out. I heard it was great.
Yeah.
Cast looks great. I mean, we talked about it, I think, last week. Fantastic Four, too. Excited for that in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Fun. Good stuff there. Okay. All right. Time now for our First Alert 6 team to prepare us for the update during the Today Show. We'll give you a bird's eye view as we work. You can catch that cut in right here on the stream or over the air. Thanks for watching.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Time now 7:26 on this Thursday. It is great to have you with us. I'm Erin Hartley. It is a First Alert 6 weather day. We'll get right to more of that coverage with Rusty Lord.
Now let's talk about what's happening out there with the weather because, well, we had some storms last night that moved through. Those are well off to the east. A few more showers and storms back to the west that just won't shut off entirely. And we get some clouds streaming off those and may even get a shower later on in the morning hours. Everything's struggling to get any farther east than a Wahoo, Lincoln to Beatrice line. But we'll see how it goes. The severe weather risk area for today all pertains to after 7 o'clock, where wind and hail are the primary risks. Tornado threat does exist right at the start of the storms, so we'll be tracking this closely this evening. That's why we have the First Alert Weather Day. We'll be watching all those components. Again, after 7 o'clock, storm chances just go up and up as you go deeper and deeper into the evening. There you go, 8 to 10 to midnight, and very likely we'll get more rounds of rain and storms tonight. Let's flip it over to traffic and show you what's happening out there. Bit of a mess on L Street. You got a crash westbound on L at about 126. This is out in front of the shops of L. They're that big shopping complex. But the main reason for that would probably be this, where the traffic lights are either out or flashing red at 132nd and L, and it's creating the backups and may have caused that crash. You can see how slow it is around there as people are just not getting through that intersection. So if you got a different route around L, I would highly advise that because it is very slow in that direction. There's also traffic lights out at 40th and Ames as well. Treat that as a four-way stop. A busy morning. Maybe the storms caused a few issues last night. Aaron?
All right, on that note, some breaking news. We're following the power outages across the metro after this morning's thunderstorms. This is a live look at the Omaha Public Power District's map. Around 1,000 customers are without power scattered across our viewing area. The time now 7:28. Back here in about 25 minutes with another update.